What's good? What's good? Let me introduce myself. My name is Chip. I'm an overseas basketball player. I'm an 8-year pro. And this is what I like to do, man. I like to give back the game, give back the stories to the younger generation because there's a lot of guys that see overseas basketball as an option, a route to get out. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be reacting to crazy stories of my fellow overseas players. All these stories are submitted to me by overseas players. If you guys have any crazy stories yourself that you want to submit, make sure you hit the link in my bio. Send me a direct message. Now, keep this in mind. This is not the norm. These are not like your everyday stories. These are things that are just out of the ordinary, but sometimes it can get pretty shocking, some of the stuff that you will witness. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. First, I'm gonna crack it off with one of my stories. One of my stories from when I was playing, and I'm not gonna say the country. Actually, I am gonna say the country, Spain. And so what happened was me and my teammates, we were out at the nightclub, partying, having a good time. I don't really drink, but there was drinks involved. And we were in this section, and there was these group of people in the section next to us. One guy and like four women. So anytime you see one guy around a bunch of women, you know that this guy, and he's a straight male, you know that this guy, he's got a lot to prove. So I kind of saw that from the beginning, but I didn't really pay it no mind. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm here to have a good time. Let me not even think the worst. Let's just see how the night goes. So I got a teammate who's quite significantly tall. He's about 7'2". He's dancing. He's the type, he likes to like dance in the club and stuff. He's dancing, grooving. He's got like these sharp ass elbows. I'm used to the elbows because I was taking elbows in practice. He be throwing them elbows, boy. But anyways, he's dancing, grooving, doing his elbow thing, and he happens to like hit the guy in the back of his head with the elbows. Mind you, he's 7 foot tall. The guy that he hit was probably about like 5'5", 5'6". But he took it as he got embarrassed. Now keep in mind, my boy is he's a good guy, man. He's a good dude. This guy is like, he'll give you the shirt off his back. He's not aggressive in any type of way. So when the guy gets hit, the guy has like an aggressive tone. He's like, yo, what's up with you? And he's speaking in Spanish. But he's basically saying like, I understand Spanish. He's basically saying like, yo, ¿qué pasa? Like, yo, like, what's up with you? And my boy is like, oh, sorry. Like, my boy's like real delicate. He's like talking to him. He's like, put his hands on his shoulder and he's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. I'm just dancing, trying to have a good time. And he's like laughing it off. And now I'm seeing the interaction. I'm like right next to my boy. My boy has like a smile on his face, but the guy was straight faced. So I'm like, all right, this off rip. That kind of didn't look right. The dude kept that aggressive tone. And he's like, I don't play like that. I don't play like that. So now I see that my boy, he was kind of out of it. He didn't really pick up on the signs. So I get myself involved. And I'm like, yo, listen, like, we not here for no trouble. We just want to have a good time, just like you. And he starts to get aggressive with me. So I'm like, hey, brother, man, calm it down, bro. Like, you see, we got a whole team with us. Me, I'm feeling comfortable. Because I'm like, it's like 6, 7 of us. You know what I mean? And we all over 6'3". This is one man. He's by himself. So I tell him, like, yo, man, like, just, let's keep it cordial. He's jarring at me, and he's jarring at my homie. What he ends up doing is he grabs a bottle that was, like, on his table. It was a beer bottle. Smashes it against the wall and holds, like, the rugged, now it's like cracked. He, like, holds it to my boy's neck. And he's like, he's so small, he has to hold it up. And he goes, like, I will kill you. I will kill you. Don't play with me. So now I get involved. Now it kind of got physical. I see my boy, he like puts his hands on the guy's neck and like pushes him. So he shoves the guy. Guy comes back aggressively. Now I step in. I separate the two, like, yo, chill, chill, chill. The dude ends up like, somehow, I guess he was like getting taken away by the girls he was with. Because even the girls like, no, we don't want this energy, like whatever, whatever. And the guy ends up kicking me in the chest. Boom, I took it on the chest. So after that, now I'm involved. And now me and him get to, we're in an altercation. It gets handled very quickly, I'll say that. And the guy ends up getting kicked out the club. So now me, naturally as an American, I'm like, yo, dude disrespected me. Say we got 5, 6, 7 of us. Like, yo, let's go handle that. Let's go finish that. Because I still felt kind of crazy because he put his whole foot mark on my shirt. My teammates tell me, they're like, yo, no, like this guy is part of a family. And this is the first time I learned this lesson while being overseas. You don't know these people. You don't know like their lineage, where they come from. You don't know their family backgrounds, who they're involved with, what they're involved with. Like, you're just seeing these people as like, you're entering their town. You're the one that's on the outside. So we got a little change of scenery because I'm in a foreign country right now and the pollen is messing me up. Anywho's, come to find out that this same dude got into an altercation with the team the previous year, and the previous American that was there before me ended up getting jumped by this same guy and like 3, 4 of his brothers. They jumped him and they stabbed him in his like in the side. He ended up going to the hospital for a few days and ended up getting sent home. His season was finished. For me, I'm like, yo, good thing that I didn't pursue it like an idiot, because it would have been bad for me. This guy left the club. He probably was waiting outside the club for the next 30 minutes with his brothers, waiting for somebody to come out. That was a very eye-opening experience for me, because that's something that I would not expect from the guy that looked like he was 5'5" in the club with, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't see it in him. But yeah, it gets like that. All right, so now I'm about to go through some stories that I heard, stories that were sent to me from social media. I'm gonna read it to you guys and I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Somebody said, rookie year, I played in Austria. I was hooping, doing my thing. Eventually, I got an offer from a higher league. And when I approached my GM about the situation, I was basically held hostage and said that I wasn't allowed to leave, which wasn't true. Fast forward a couple weeks, they ended up suspending me for about a month, forcing me to work out with the youth teams, U12, U14, until I was out of there. Do or die time comes, time to make the playoffs, and they magically brought me back. So let me try to break this down for you guys from my point of view. He was looking for a buyout, right? A buyout happens when you're playing at probably a smaller club and you outperform your contract and you catch the eyes of another team with a bigger budget. You wouldn't leave your team for the same money. You'd leave your team. It had to be some type of incentive. So what I'm guessing is it was a smaller team. Buyout situation happens. He gets the offer, but his GM is trying to shut it down. Now, what that says to me is I'm not sure of the contract situation, but a lot of times when it comes to overseas, you'd have to put in your contract before you sign, like before the season, the buyout clause. And not every contract is going to have it, because a lot of teams, they'll protect themselves, especially in the lower leagues. They'll protect themselves and say, yo, if we get a diamond in the rough and you start killing, I need to keep you for the whole season. You can leave afterwards, but I need to protect myself and not let you leave. What happens in those type of situations, typically, I don't know his situation, but it would take a substantial amount of money from the bigger team to give to the smaller team in order for them, or unless they have like some type of relationship, the president to president or the GM to GM, then they might do business. If you didn't sign for that in the first place, then it's going to be a tough one, and they'll play these types of games with you. So in his specific situation, I mean, it's wild that he was held hostage, essentially. Like, so when he says held hostage, he means that like you have to stay on the team contractually. You can, if you want to leave, you can break your contract, but you won't be getting paid anymore. So they say, yo, if you want to leave, go ahead, leave. I ain't gonna pay you, but yeah, you can leave if you want. He had to practice with the U12 and U14 teams. I mean, that's just like humiliating. So every day you wake up, and they probably have practice at 8 a.m. So every day you wake up at 7 a.m. for 8 a.m. practice with some kids. If you miss one workout, they probably will cut you, because it's like contractually you have to show up to team practices, and they'll say that it's a team practice. This next one is pretty nuts. I will say that this is the first time that I heard of a story like this. He says, I had plantar fasciitis and the team wanted me back so fast that they tell me to go to this house doctor. I go, having no idea what was going on. Fast forward, I found out it was like some voodoo shit, man. I ran. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should even write the country. I don't know if I should show the country, because I don't want them to look bad. But yeah, this is a horrible look for the country. I mean, like I said, I've never seen anything like that, some voodoo house doctor stuff. I mean, I will say though, one time I played in another country in the same area, and there was a lady who was doing physio, and she was kind of on the same vibes, like witch doctor type vibes, but she was employed by the team. So I'm like, all right, you know what? She must be like, I don't know, she might just have the vibe and she must be certified in some way. On the first day after practice, I go up to see her and she's giving me a massage on my calves, and she's going like super hard. And I was like, yo, I don't know. This doesn't really feel like a sports massage. It felt like punishment. I asked her, I was like, yo, well, like, where'd you go to school? Like, what kind of certifications do you have? She starts laughing. And I'm like, well, you know, you must be certified. Like they must be some type of school out here where you went for, you know, physio. She's like, oh, don't worry. I used to work on Djokovic. Okay, like that doesn't it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, when Djokovic was 14 years old, I was working on him, the famous tennis player. Okay, still no certification, whatever. Fast forward a couple months later, I got hurt, and the president of the club told one of the assistant coaches to show me a false certification for the physio, because she diagnosed me
and I was like sniffing around. I'm like, yo, I have this injury, but she said I have something else. So I was kind of sniffing around. He literally told the assistant coach to tell me, yeah, just show Dwayne a fake certificate. So you see some crazy stuff over there. And I got one more for you guys. I was playing in Belize and the hurricane was coming. So our GM drove us to Mexico last minute to fly out, and the hurricane completely missed where I was playing and came right to Mexico. And me and 5 of my teammates stranded in Mexico in a hurricane with 6 people who spoke no Spanish. Or I think he meant to say spoke no English. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, natural disasters is something that you can't avoid in any place in the world. I mean, that is pretty wild. All right, so look, this is what I want you guys to do. From here on out, if you're watching this and you're an overseas basketball player, send me some stories and I'm gonna break them down. I'm gonna react to them just like these. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.